Christopher Reeve, the classic blueprint. Christopher Reeve's Superman suit remains the definitive template for all cinematic superheroes. Introduced in Superman the Movie in 1978, it mirrors the comic book look of the Silver and Bronze Ages with uncanny precision. Bold blue fabric, iconic red trunks, yellow belt, and a flowing crimson cape. The S emblem is bright, centered, and perfectly balanced. Crafted from a smooth, spandex-like material, the suit has a comic-accurate lightness and charm. Even the evil version from Superman 3 retained the design, simply darkened. Its simplicity and visual clarity made it instantly memorable. What makes this version legendary is not just accuracy, it's how effortlessly it translated the comic book Superman into live action. It became a cultural touchstone, setting the gold standard for what a superhero should look like for generations to come. But before we explain every one of Superman's suits, a real quick ask that if you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button now. It's one small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Thanks. Henry Cavill's first suit. When Man of Steel debuted in 2013, Henry Cavill's Superman introduced a bold redesign rooted in alien aesthetics. Inspired by the New 52 comics, this version ditched the red trunks for a one-piece Kryptonian armor look, textured, sculpted, and complex. The deep blue color palette, darkened further by Snyder's muted cinematography, gave it a more serious tone. The S-shield was sharper, raised, and detailed in red and gold, hinting at its origins as a Kryptonian family crest. Ornate line work across the torso gave the suit a regal, almost ceremonial vibe. Though divisive for abandoning comic tradition, it showcased Superman as a stranger from another world rather than Earth's Boy Scout. The suit isn't designed to feel nostalgic. It's designed to feel ancient, powerful, and otherworldly. Cavill's second suit. In Justice League, Henry Cavill's Superman suit received a notable visual change. Gone was the desaturated tone of Man of Steel. This time the colors were brighter, bolder, and closer to the comic book aesthetic. The red and blue hues stood out with heroic vibrance, especially under natural lighting. While the textured armor-like surface remained, small adjustments like a sleeker cape and refined muscle contouring made the suit more visually appealing. It retained modern Kryptonian design language, but the brighter tones brought it closer to the Superman of hopeful, inspiring images. The lack of red trunks still kept it aligned with the New 52 style, but overall it was a step toward comic book fidelity. Brandon Routh suit. Brandon Routh's Superman suit in Superman Returns 2006 walked a careful line between homage and modernization. It kept the core elements intact: red trunks, yellow belt, blue suit, and flowing cape. However, the blue was darker and the iconic S symbol was noticeably smaller, sitting subtly on the chest in raised rubber. The most distinct departure was the cape material. It appeared stiffer and shinier, lacking the dynamic movement seen in the earlier versions. Despite these changes, the overall silhouette strongly echoed Christopher Reeve's look, signaling respect and continuity. The suit didn't aim to redefine Superman, it aimed to preserve his legacy for a new generation, and it stands as a visual love letter to fans who grew up with the original films, blending nostalgia with early 2000s superhero aesthetics. Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come suit. In the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths, Brandon Routh returned as a grizzled Superman wearing a stunning reinterpretation of the Kingdom Come suit. This version aged with him, stronger, wiser, and battle-worn. The colors were richer and deeper, with a glossy finish that felt both regal and heroic. The red and black S crest on his chest replaced the traditional red and yellow, symbolizing resilience and loss, nodding to the tragedy that shaped this version of Superman. The suit fused the muscular build of Henry Cavill's design with the elegance of Routh's original look, achieving a perfect blend of power and grace. Constructed with modern materials, it offered flexibility and comfort while still appearing heavy with history. More than just a suit, it was a symbol of legacy and survival in a multiverse on the brink. Tyler Hoechlin's suit. In Superman and Lois, Tyler Hoechlin's main suit is a refined evolution of his Arrowverse debut, merging that cinematic detail with weekly TV functionality. Ditching the red trunks, the suit draws inspiration from Man of Steel but adds its own flair. The textured blue fabric features sleek, angular design lines, paired with sculpted muscle padding that enhances Hoechlin's physique without looking exaggerated. Costume designer Laura Jean Shannon upgraded the neckline, redesigned the boots, and added a dynamic cape that flows gracefully during flight. Unlike other CW suits, this one feels high-end, almost movie quality. It successfully blends realism with some classic charm, marking a fresh chapter for Superman's small-screen legacy. Though not overly flashy, the craftsmanship and screen presence of Hoechlin's suit make it one of the most grounded and functional designs ever worn by a live-action Superman. David Corenswet suit. David Corenswet's Superman suit for James Gunn's Superman in 2025 brings back something fans have been missing: the red trunks. But this isn't purely nostalgia bait. The suit combines old-school charm with modern comic influences, particularly the New 52 design. It features a high collar, segmented armor-like texture, and a deep red cape that attaches at the shoulders. The S shield is large, bold, and classically centered, immediately commanding attention. A sleek belt and tall red boots further evoke a traditional comic look. Despite the updated material and detailing, nothing about the design feels over-engineered or edgy. Instead, it's a confident, almost regal update to Superman's timeless appearance. It walks the perfect line between stylized realism and faithful comic book adaptation, promising a hopeful return to form for the big-screen Man of Steel. Dead Cain suit. Dead Cain's Superman suit in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman from 1993 to 1997, is peak 90s TV superhero design. Colorful, stretchy, and unmistakably comic book accurate. Made of bright blue lycra, this suit features vivid red trunks, tall red boots, and a cape that looked more like heavy drapery than flight gear. The oversized, puffy S emblem was sewn onto the chest, giving it a slightly inflated look. While the suit might feel dated now, it embraced the campy energy of the era and faithfully honored Superman's classic silhouette. Budget limitations aside, Cain's costume channeled Superman's vibrant spirit and maintained visual consistency with the comics. It wasn't trying to be armor or alien, it was just nostalgic superhero simplicity. The suit became iconic for a generation of viewers discovering Superman on the small screen. Gerard Christopher suit. Gerard Christopher's Superman costume in The Adventures of Superboy seasons 2 to 4 looks like it walked straight out of a Silver Age comic book. Building off Christopher Reeve's template, the suit features a vivid blue fabric, red trunks, and a flowing cape. However, the S symbol is a bit different, slightly tilted and oddly shaped, making it feel a little less polished than the Reeve original. Still, the suit fits well and captures the character's youthful optimism. It leans into the colorful simplicity that defines Superman in earlier decades, making it visually appealing for TV while retaining comic book charm. Though not as iconic or as refined as Reeve's, Christopher's version keeps the legacy alive with enough authenticity to make it memorable, especially for fans who appreciate the classic Superman look reimagined for television. John Newton suit. Before Gerard Christopher took over, Superboy Season 1 starred John Newton, and his suit was nearly identical, but with a surprising twist, a better logo. The S shield here is flatter, more centered, and visually cleaner than the skewed version in later seasons. While the costume still consists of spandex, blue fabric, red trunks, cape, and boots, it fits Newton's frame more comfortably, giving a sharper silhouette. The simplicity works in its favor. This is Superman stripped down to his essentials, with comic book fidelity at its heart. Although it lacks the detailed textures and polish of modern suits, this version is arguably one of the best pure spandex-based Superman costumes. It embraces tradition, fits well, and delivers a charming, straightforward version of the character for late 80s, early 90s television. George Reeves suit. George Reeves' Superman suit from Adventures of Superman in 1952 to 1958 brought the comic book hero to life with a faithful and functional design. Filmed in black and white early on, the costume used light gray fabric to ensure strong contrast on screen, though behind the scenes color shots confirmed it was indeed blue, with traditional red and yellow accents. The suit featured all the essentials: red trunks, boots, a yellow belt, and the signature S emblem on the chest. The wide-collared cape flowed naturally, echoing that Golden Age comic look. The only oddity was the oversized trunks, which sometimes broke the suit's proportions. Still, this version respected its source and didn't attempt to modernize or stylize for trendiness. For its era, it was a grounded, straightforward Superman costume that set an early standard for screen adaptations. Nicolas Cage suit. Nicolas Cage's infamous suit from Superman Lives, 1990s, never completed, finally appeared in CGI form in The Flash in 2023, confirming years of speculation. The design was bold but baffling, a shiny armor-like bodysuit with exaggerated, sculpted abs and pecs, mimicking the muscular rubber suits of Burton-era Batman. However, Superman doesn't need armor, his strength is internal. The glossy material looked more plastic than Kryptonian, and the suit lacked the flowing fabric, primary colors, or bright emblem fans expect. Cage's long hair paid homage to the 90s mullet Superman, but the comic nod wasn't enough to save the overall aesthetic. This suit represents a massive departure from Superman's visual identity. While fascinating as a relic of Hollywood what-ifs, it remains one of the least comic-accurate designs ever created for the character. Kirk Alyn's suit. Kirk Alyn was the very first live-action Superman, starring in two 1940s serials. His costume might seem primitive by today's standards, but it's a heartfelt nod to the character's Golden Age design. The fabric was plain, with a simple cut and minimal texturing. reflective of comic art at the time. The S-shield was hand-stitched and asymmetrical, yet surprisingly faithful to early illustrations. Alyn's cape was short and stiff, but it matched Superman's original style before artists began drawing grand, flowing versions. The color palette was limited due to film technology, but the silhouette was unmistakably Superman. While lacking polish, Alyn's suit carried the charm and earnestness of a pioneering superhero adaptation, proving that even on a modest budget, it was possible to channel the essence of the Man of Steel. Tom Welling trenchcoat suit. In Smallville, Tom Welling never truly wore the full Superman costume, but that was the point. The show chronicled Clark Kent's evolution, so instead of tights, we saw symbolic nods throughout his wardrobe: red and blue jackets, t-shirts, and eventually the House of L crest. In Season 9, Clark dons a proto-suit, a black ensemble with a leather trenchcoat, black shirt emblazoned with a dark S, and black jeans. It's edgy and dramatic, reflecting the darker themes of his journey. While visually more Matrix than Metropolis, it emphasized identity over iconography. Fans were divided, but within the show's context, this outfit marked a critical turning point, Clark embracing his destiny. Though far from traditional, Welling's costume served as a narrative device, bridging his transformation from farm boy to future Superman. Henry Cavill's black suit. Henry Cavill's black Superman suit in Zack Snyder's Justice League is a sleek, somber callback to the 1990s comic arc Reign of the Supermen. After Superman's resurrection, he emerges wearing this alternate suit, black with a silver S emblem and cape. Though the comic version included silver gauntlets and boots, the film opts for a recolored version of the blue suit from Man of Steel. Despite being digitally altered, the black and silver palette looks rich and symbolic on screen. It communicates rebirth, strength, and a return with a purpose. The design maintains the alien texture and armored contours, but contrasts sharply with the classic color scheme, showing a battle-hardened Superman. While brief in its appearance, this version holds strong visual weight and delivers a strikingly faithful adaptation of the post-death comic era. Golden Age and Earth 2. Superman's original design by Siegel and Schuster went through several visual tweaks in the Golden Age. The emblem evolved frequently, and early versions even lacked the red trunks, possibly due to printing limitations. Elements like calf straps, high-cut boots, and capes attached at different points reflected strongman fashion and Douglas Fairbanks films. His costume was famously indestructible, though no design logic was explained. Eventually, the cape gained a yellow S, completing the now iconic red, blue, and yellow look. Silver and Bronze Age, Earth 1. In this era, Superman's costume became iconic and practically invincible. Woven by Martha Kent using Kryptonian fabric from Kal-El's baby blankets, even under Earth's yellow sun, the suit resisted fire, force, and tears. His belt came from the rocket's seatbelts, the boots from its upholstery. The cape served protective functions as well, even enabling space travel with breathable air and radio shielding. Flexible and stretchable, the costume's only weakness was red sun radiation. This version emphasized maternal care and that alien durability. New Earth. Originally sewn by Martha Kent from Earth fabric, Superman's suit was protected by his bioelectric aura, which made tight clothing pretty much invulnerable. His cape being looser was still susceptible to damage. Later contact with the Eradicator gave Superman a new suit and cape with greater durability. Post-Infinite Crisis, Martha crafted a Kryptonian fabric suit so tough it broke tools. Clark had to cut it with heat vision. His belt included a lead-lined compartment for a rarely used kryptonite ring. Prime Earth. During the New 52 era, Superman's suit was reimagined as Kryptonian battle armor, keyed to his DNA. It enhanced physical abilities but suppressed non-Kryptonian traits like tactile telekinesis in hybrids. After Superman Reborn, which merged New Earth and Prime Earth timelines, Superman briefly retained the armor, but eventually returned to a fabric-based costume. This new outfit featured a belt and traditional tights, blending modern aesthetics with classic sensibilities while phasing out the armor's alien rigidity. Superman Black Suit. After Superman's death in the Death of Superman storyline, the Eradicator placed his body in a regeneration matrix bombarded with solar energy. Upon revival, Superman emerged in a black and silver suit with no cape, symbolizing his rebirth. Steel gifted him flight-enabled boots, and he briefly used conventional weaponry. The black suit paid homage to Kryptonian heritage and his own resurrection arc, making a major visual and narrative departure from his usual bright and hopeful aesthetic. Mother Box Suit. In this storyline, Superman is haunted by nightmares of Doomsday, the creature that once killed him. When he learns Doomsday may still be alive and held on Apokolips, he travels there for a rematch. Though the monster has already escaped, the fight ahead triggers a reaction in Superman's mother box. Sensing imminent danger, the mother box alters his suit into a more aggressive, weaponized form. This upgrade includes an ultrasonic gun and a sword, blending Kryptonian might with new god technology. Superman Blue. After undergoing a bizarre power fluctuation, Superman transforms into a being of pure energy. No longer able to exist in physical form, he requires a containment suit, which grants him new abilities like speed, intangibility, and the ability to interface with computers. While no longer vulnerable to kryptonite, he loses his traditional strength and is now weak against energy disruption. Where still is Clark Kent. He's entirely powerless. The suit, crafted by Emil Hamilton, symbolizes this radical phase in Superman's evolution. Superman's new costume. During the cataclysmic Our Worlds at War saga, Superman is deeply affected by the immense loss of life caused by the villain Imperiex. Struggling to carry on as the symbol of hope, his mother, Martha Kent, proposes a small but meaningful change, a darker blue suit with a black Superman logo on the chest and cape, meant to honor the fallen. It's a visual reminder of mourning, yet also of resilience. Superboy. Originally created as a genetic fusion of Superman and Lex Luthor's DNA, Con-El, or Connor Kent, was presented as a teen replacement after Superman's death. His first outfit was a 90s classic: black boots, a leather jacket, and a bright yellow S-shield on the back. He later adopted X-ray glasses from Emil Hamilton and became more confident as a hero. His evolving costume reflected his journey from clone to actual legacy. Powerless costume. When Superboy mysteriously loses his powers after Clarion's defeat, he finds himself grieving and vulnerable. Guardian encourages him to live a normal life, but Connor chooses instead to continue helping. Turning to Gadget Guru, he's gifted a simple yet functional outfit, a black t-shirt with the Superman logo, and gadgets like the Legion flight ring and a size-altering shield. It's a stripped-down look with raw symbolism. Even without powers, the will to fight will remain. The Eradicator. After Superman's death, the Eradicator attempts to take control of his body to preserve Kryptonian heritage. When he fails, he returns Superman's body to the Fortress of Solitude and places it in a healing matrix, creating a flawed physical form for himself. He dons shaded lenses and a cape, branding himself as a new kind of Superman. Later, he returns with an all-black suit, silver detailing, and a red cape, evoking traditional Kryptonian garb. And that is every one of Superman's suits explained. What are your thoughts? Which one's your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these deep dives and strange lore. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks.